Hello people, I'm Gaming Gary and at last I am back. Yeah, I know what I said in my chaniversary, but it just isn't gonna happen, guys. This channel is just, I put things up that I want to share, and if I don't feel like sharing things, mainly because I'm too lazy to bloody well record, I just won't. But anyways, this War Thunder video is for just complete noobs. I'm talking like people who have had the game for 5 minutes, just got it installed, and have literally no idea what to do. So, oh, hang on. At the start of the game, this is going to be the sort of thing you're seeing. Now, basically, down here, you've got whichever country you want to fly. And down there, below that, see here, you've got the little 9, 4 and 5, and those show what level you are in that particular air force. This game works by leveling up, so for example I'm rank 5 in Russia, so although I have enough of these Lions to buy this aircraft, I can't because I haven't ranked up in this country enough. Now basically I'm here to talk about all these little icons here. So first of all we got this one, weapons, which allows you to modify your plane by just buying upgrades. You can also do this with the premium currency of golden eagles, but in my opinion it's a bit of a waste because you can obtain them for free anyway. Then you've got crew, basically leveling up your crew, showing just what just improving how well you can play it. For example, we got pilot skills, vision, and there are little subtitles on what all of these do. You can pause the video at any time when I was hovering over those to read them. And then, for example, for bombers, you'd want to be ranking up your gunners a bit more. So, say, just pick an aircraft I haven't bought. We see here there's a new icon, order, and that is how you buy new planes. And I'll just buy this and put it into service just to show you guys. Now, putting something into service is a bit different to buying it. You need to buy your chosen aircraft and then need to pay more money to then put it into service. Now putting it into service just puts it in one of these crew slots so that you're able to fly it. You can buy more crew slots with Lions, and later on they start costing gold, this premium currency, which is why over in my British I have 2 more crew slots than over here because I paid a little bit of gold. But I got this gold at the start of the game. Yeah, I've played a fair bit of the Brits. Now you may be wondering, this plane's rank 13, but he's only rank 11. What's going on? Well, that's because I bought this plane. It used to be rank 10, but then Gaijin, company who made this game, decided it's far too good to be at rank 10. It needs to be put up at rank 13, where it will go up against things like, give me a moment, this. And that right there is a Focke-Wulf 190 D12. A lot of just really overpowered things in this game in my opinion. But it's still just a beta test, so we'll bear with for now. It's still enjoyable. Then you've got another option, test flight, and for a plane you've already put into service, you've got an option here, change aircraft. And if you want to change to a lower level plane because you're squadded up with a mate who's not quite as skilled as you are, then there you go. Over here in my Japanese. Now the research tab, as I've shown you many times, is just where you go to buy new planes. It's different for every country gets new planes. You get your premium planes here, some of which are actually gift, for example this thing. Now what a premium plane is, it's a plane you've got to spend gold on. Basically, those are single missions. Well, hang on, this is just missions you can do, but a bunch of single missions that you unlock by playing in the multiplayer. And these are just basically free chances at free gold. Not gold, the other thing. If you're completely new to this type of game, well, hang on, there are tutorials. For example, fighter, assault plane, bomber, and takeoff and landing. We haven't bothered doing for whatever reason. Yeah, they've changed some of these since I last looked here. But moving on, one of the new features of this game is the events. Now basically gives you a choice of certain aircraft for a certain game mode, and the game modes consist of arcade, historical and full real. I've shown this in one of my previous videos. I'm sorry for wasting your time. Well, seeing as we've still got a fair bit of time, I suppose I'll talk to you a bit about each country's air force and their strengths and weaknesses. Well, you may not see them as weaknesses or strengths or whatever. You may see them as sacrifices. For example, this plane right here basically just sums up the Americans at the later levels, at least. The F4U 1A Corsair, very fast. That's the max speed, but that's not. It can go a lot faster when you start diving downwards. Turn time, it's a bit, well, it's terrible. Most of the Americans have pretty lousy turn times, but good firepower and good dive speed. The American bomber line, no introduction, B-17s and B-24s. Good stuff. There are some Mustangs, keep you lot happy. The Americans have recently got a bunch of new jets in this game, so. And the Germans, flipping heck, that's a lot of bloody aircraft. You got your Italian line, your Bf-109s, Focke-Wulf 190s, Dornier 217s and ME-410s, Stukas, bombers and premiums. Plenty of stuff to keep you busy. Then your Russians, oh, I can't go through here without feeling a bit depressed. Everything, just there are so many planes that are very, very nasty here, like this. Yak-9T. Right there, 50 cal machine gun, 37mm fully automatic cannon. 37mm is a big caliber in this game. It just occurred to me I didn't at all bother telling you the strengths of the Germans. The Germans seem to be more of the Americans, except they're slower in the dive but more manoeuvrable and better firepower, so good stuff from the Germans. Russia, just fly about, eat your face. Ugh, this is where all the scumbags play, in my opinion. Yours may differ. Hey, the British. Full of very capable fighters. Typhoons, Hurricanes, Spitfires, Meteors at the later levels when you finally start flying jets. Spitfires, very manoeuvrable, not very fast. Lots of firepower towards the end of the tree. And then, last but not least, we have the Japanese. More of the British, I'd say, except faster, more manoeuvrable, but by God, these planes are made of paper! And I'm not even joking, these bloody Zeros, they really cannot take a hit. They are, historically, they just had no protection of anything at all. No self-sealing fuel tanks, no armour for the cockpit, keeping the pilot alive. If you shoot at this thing, it's gonna die really quickly. over here we got a relatively new Japanese heavy fighter line. Now the Japanese tree is very much incomplete in my opinion. There's no plane beyond rank 17, and the ranks go up to 20, but I'm sure they'll have fixed that by the time the game is fully released. And down here you may have noticed aviation, army and fleet, and that's because one day this game will have ground forces that you can play as and naval forces as well. However, that's not been implemented yet, so at the minute what we have is a pretty half decent flight sim. And now I'm just going to take you up in a test flight and talk about some manoeuvres. So I'll go into a test flight and cut back when it's done. Okay guys, we're up in the air in our beautiful Japanese Ki-61. I'm going to show you a couple of manoeuvres, all of which have plenty of uses. Now we're going to begin with something pretty simple. In order to pull this manoeuvre you need to hold S and then turn the mouse cursor to face behind you. And that right there was an Immelman turn, useful for turning round and gaining altitude. I wouldn't say use it when you've got an enemy on your arse, but when you've just finished someone off, it's a pretty good manoeuvre, a tactic, for getting out of the enemy airwaves quickly. Then, oh blimey. Just say, give me a minute. Say we're diving on a target, like this. Say we were just chasing after an American bomber or something like that, and oh no, we're coming in way too fast. What do? Well, here's what we do. We pull up extremely rapidly, we point the nose back down, and by now the American bomber would be about where I'm shooting. Great tactic for staying on your opponent's arse. A lot of people choose to cut the throttle, and that's a horrible idea, because then you lose your speed, then you lose your advantage. It's sort of like a negotiations game in a way, just convert your speed into altitude, then back into speed is the principle. There are... Do you know, when I said I was going to show you some manoeuvres, I really cannot think of any off the top of my head. Oh, here's one that may or may not work. This was developed by the Japanese. Now, this is what a good tactic in arcade mode only. If there's an enemy on your arse, hold Q and S, and all of a sudden you're on their arse. This has to be done travelling at a high speed in a dive, but if you pull it off, then you're going to have an enjoyable time. That's all guys, thanks for watching.